Yeah, man, you good.
Good. All right, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Richland County Council, I'm Tory Rush, Richland County Chair. We want to just say to you, I want to start off by saying this is our 24-hour update. We try to give an update on behalf of the county on a 24-hour basis, just to keep the citizens informed, to let you know what's going on, what's progress, try to diffuse any misinformation that's being put out, and try to get you accurate information. I do want to say to all the emergency service individuals, our sheriff department, our EOC department, our the coroner's office, the fire department, everybody who's been on the front line. They've been doing an outstanding job making sure that the citizens of our county are being taken care of. And I want to personally thank them for all the hard work and diligence that they've done. To the National Guard, who's been on post with a lot of our drop stations, water staging areas, who they've been protecting that overnight. I just want to thank everybody for all the hard work they've done over the past several days. It's been a tough task, but everybody's been up to task, and I want to thank them now. Richland County is moving into the recovery phase, from response to recovery. We're getting to a point where we're getting out now, trying to assess where we are, what type of damage is being done to or has been done to our county, what that looks like, so we can begin to put together next step actions in place. At this point, we've got 3 shelters that are open, that are still in full operation: the St. Andrews Middle School, the Lower Richland High School, and AC Flora High School. We have multiple distribution sites throughout the county for water, food, various essentials to the public. It's too many to name right now, so if you wanted to call our ombudsman office, we're giving the addresses and the closest location out to you. That number is 929-6000. Again, that number is 929-6000. And they can give you information on all the distribution sites. Our Public Works Department has been out diligently trying to assess some of the damages. Out of our 800 roads, they've actually assessed about 543 roads to this point. So they're out now trying to assess where the damage locations are, so we can get that information out, get it up, so we can inform the public about the critical areas of road damage. We are currently identified about 35 bridges throughout the county that can't be used. So we've put in a request to the state for about 35, at least 35. We've actually put in for 50, but we do have 35 that are critical needs right now for temporary bridges to repair those bridges so that we can make some of those roads in some way, shape, or form operable. As we continue, we're getting a lot of requests for individuals who want to volunteer. We're asking, there's a 1-800 number. It's 1-800-621-3362 is the best number to call for if you want to provide volunteer work or any type of assistance. We're asking that that assistance go into one central location so that we can disperse individuals in an orderly fashion. Also, disposing, we're getting a lot of calls about animal carcasses being found. For that information, we ask that you call our ombudsman office again. That number is 929-6000. So if you've seen dead animals and want to report that, they'll give you the proper individuals or departments that can help you with that process. At this time, I would like to turn it over to our Director of Emergency Service, Mr. Michael Bird. He'll give you an update.
In the last 24 hours, we've had, across all public safety disciplines, 1,572 responses, which is still very close to what it's been running in the last several days. We still continue to have additional resources coming in. We're still requesting additional resources as they are needed. DOT and Richland County Public Works are working diligently to assess the roads and bridges, and as our chairman indicated, we're working with the National Guard to try to get in place temporary bridges in some of these locations. DHEC continues to monitor several dams in the area for integrity. Our shelters are still up and running. We had 203 people staying in the shelters last night, which is down a little bit. We still have the water and food sites set up at our shelters, and anyone that needs water or food can go to those shelters whether they're staying there or not. As the chairman indicated, anyone that has a report of a dead animal, they need to call 929-6000, and we will start the process of removal. We have begun damage assessment. We'll have damage assessment teams out looking in the areas where we've identified damage. I want to encourage anyone that has damage, they need to call FEMA's hotline at 1-800-621-FEMA and register and get into the system so we can begin trying to assist them through this process. Thank you.
I've asked the chairman and county council to extend the curfew. I understand we'll have a curfew again tonight, 12 midnight to 6. And I'm asking, along with Police Chief Holbrook, asking the City of Columbia that we're going to extend it at least through Sunday night, going into Monday morning. So just want to let everybody know, anticipate that. This curfew is going to be enforced. We arrested 2 looters about 2 hours ago, which is the first people we've arrested. We apprehended 2 gentlemen in the Lake Catherine area that had been stealing stuff from people's yards. Not only that, they've been stealing stop signs and street signs. They've been apprehended. They're being charged with unlawful activity during a state of emergency, which is a felony punishable up to 10 years. Now, that charge also is applicable to moving a barricade or disobeying a police officer if they give you an order during a state of emergency. We're starting to see too many people get out here and taking advantage of the situation and trying to steal stuff, also moving barricades. Yesterday, we reported that 2 deaths in the lower Richland area was a result of a barricade being moved. Initially, we thought the workers had moved the barricade. We have now discovered, after talking to the survivors, that that did not happen. Somebody else had already moved the sign that would have closed the road. So they did not know when they were going down that road that it had been closed and that the bridge had washed out and they were driving to a dangerous situation. These barricades and signs are up for a reason. Don't touch them, don't move them, don't have anything to do with them, and obey them. We're at the point now where there is zero tolerance for anybody out here now who's making this dangerous situation even worse. If anybody thinks they're going to come here and steal and take advantage, that is not going to happen. We have teams of officers from Richland County, City of Columbia, state agencies, and other law enforcement agencies from the state. We are patrolling these areas that are our worst areas. We're going to make sure that the people's homes and property are protected. We're not going to tolerate it. I can tell you right now, this will not be tolerated, and we're going to deal with it very severely. Our officers are out there, and they're going to stop people from doing that. So when this curfew starts at 12 midnight, we expect everybody to be in unless they're an emergency worker or they've got some serious reason to be out there. Anybody else needs to be home. The only people that's going to be out after 12 o'clock are going to be the cops and the bad guys, and we're going to be getting the bad guys. So, please abide by that. We're still working with teams. The fire department's going to talk about some of the search and rescue and stuff that we've got going on. These are teams of law enforcement and other public safety officials. We're working together. One thing, I mentioned this yesterday, is Columbia Fire Department, Columbia Police Department, and Richland County Sheriff's Department is one agency. Since this weekend, we have been one agency, and we have worked that close together. There is absolutely no difference and the uniforms we're wearing anymore, and what our missions are. So your public safety agents, officers are working very closely. But again, we just encourage people, help us out. We need help. We got a lot of our fellow citizens out here who need our help, and we don't need people out here doing stupid things, and we're going to deal with that. I've got to leave. I've got to leave. If anybody's got any questions for me as far as law enforcement, ask them now.
Sheriff, there's a reported death or something in Fairfield County, or someone recovered, or a missing person recovered. Talk about that real quick.
We only have one missing person right now. We had a missing person, and we've solved that case. We've located that missing person, so we only have one at this point that we're looking for. I'm hoping we find out successfully. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Just to clear up something, I think there's been some confusion as to the number of deaths that we've had in Richland County associated with this storm. The correct number is 9. I think there's been some discrepancy, but it is 9, and those are people that are directly related to the flood that have died as a result of that, either by being pushed off the road or driving off the road. Our website, which is rccosc.com, is updated every day with current numbers. So if you have any questions, you can get the information off the website, and that's usually done by 6 p.m. every day. Okay?
My name is Jamie Helms with the Columbia Fire Department. The gentleman beside of me is Mike Bozzo with the State Incident Management Team. We've been managing this operation as the ICs since late Sunday afternoon. Currently, the Columbia Fire Department and other agencies, Sheriff's Department, along with CPD and SLED, along with a host of wildlife officers and some out-of-state task force teams and in-state task force teams, have been methodically searching the City of Columbia, Richland County area, making contact with all homeowners to ensure that they're safe, that they are either going to be sheltered in place or do they need to be removed to a shelter. As of right now, we are about approximately somewhere around 85 to 90% complete with our mission of searching the county. The areas that we are in now are currently the Lower Richland, Gadsden, and Hopkins and Eastover area. We have had a difficult time, obviously, in there due to flooding waters, washed out roads. The National Guard has come in to assist us in this plan and have been providing heavy-duty trucks that can make it through these areas and help us get through. We currently have a task force team out of Virginia that is here, and they are currently operating in that area with our state USAR teams. Real quick, just to kind of give you some ideas of what we've been touching, we have made actual physical contact of houses of over 5,000. Those are houses that we targeted in floodplain areas that are known to flooding, plus areas that received massive water and potential damage to their structure. We have also have an uncounted number of people that we have encountered and talked to that we did not see any signs of damage or anything like that to their homes. At this point in our operation, we don't have our daily numbers yet. We won't have that till sometime late this evening and into tomorrow morning. We have transported, with the assistance of the National Guard, over 450 people to shelters. We have assisted with over 2,000 civilians in making sure that they are okay and taking care of some other issues. We've targeted areas of road washouts, culvert drain issues, and needs for extra resources should we have a fire or another emergency in that general area. In basically people that couldn't get out of their homes if they had to. At this point, just to give you a quick rundown, the Columbia Fire Department is still ongoing in their search and their evacuation and the potential of rescue situation. We have not stopped that operation. That is an ongoing operation and will be ongoing for some time. We are also building our plan around our fire suppression and our normal duties that we do. We want to make sure that we have adjusted our response patterns to include those areas that we have been cut off from. So that is an ongoing effort from us. We want to make sure that the citizens of the county and the city know that we are still the top fire department that we've always been, and that we will be providing the services that they have come to know. And one last thing is that we want to make sure that we echo what the sheriff has said about driving on these roadways where it's barricaded. That has been a very big problem for our teams. It pulls us away from our searches, and it pulls us away from our mission, and we need people to be very careful if they're driving, but more importantly, obey what's out there from the traffic department of DOT and those folks. Thank you.
Just a couple of final points that we'd like to make. One, of course, county offices are closed today to the public. We have essential personnel in the offices on the road, in the field. But for the public, the sake of the public, our offices remain closed today and will remain closed tomorrow as well, with a look toward hopefully getting back to some normalcy beginning next week. Just want to let the public know as well, we have a website that's up and running, which you can go to richlandmaps.com, and there are several bits of information at that site, but one piece of information that's very critical and very informative is the road closures that are currently in place, and we update that as we get new information. But you can go to that site and see which roads are currently closed, either due to damage or water still on the roads. And again, we update that as we get new information. So that is a very useful tool if anyone has to be on the road to know what areas to avoid. So we encourage you to use that site and use that information. Thank you.
I wanted to also make a correction to a statement I made earlier. For individuals who need assistance, if you can please call the 1-800-621-3362. Again, 1-800-621-3362. That's for assistance. And for volunteers, for individuals who want to volunteer, that number is 1-888-585-9643. Again, 1-888-585-9643. And we've got my colleagues here behind me, county council members who's been out in their various districts, getting information back into our EOC departments as well. It's been all hands on deck, and everybody's done a great job of making sure that we are taking care of our citizens, making sure that the citizens' needs are being first and foremost. So if you have any issues, one more thing, that the Comet has 8 routes that are running. You can call our ombudsman office at the 929-6000 number, and they'll have information on those 8 Comet routes that are currently running. So to the citizens of the county, we thank you for your patience, as it will be a long road to recovery, but at the same time, we're definitely working diligently to make sure that your needs are being taken care of. At this time, we'll take any questions.
Dealing with Eastover and the Lower Richland area, a lot of people kind of stranded out there. A lot of roads overtaken. Any plans on getting things reconnected out there, some degree bridges, et cetera? We talked about it a little bit earlier, but any more detail?
Yeah, well, we're working very diligently in the Lower Richland area to assess those roads and bridges. Part of that 35 bridges that we are asking the state to send us as we speak, we'll be going down to that area. We've got, I think currently we've got 6 bridges that we have currently that we're trying to deploy. We're trying to find out the actual location that it will be a best fit for Lower Richland. I will say that we've got the National Guard who's helping us assess that situation as well to put those bridges up. Any more questions? Thank you all for your time.